Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Puna Strong Virtual Resource Fair. This afternoon, we have Goodwill Industries of Hawaii presenting on some of their really extensive employment programs. And today we are joined by a couple of speakers. Our first speaker, who I'd like to introduce, is Kealoha Dalbert. She is the Assistant Director of Youth Services for Goodwill's Ola Ikahana Youth Program. She oversees the program located on Hawaii Island and Oahu. She has earned a BA from Hawaii Pacific University and has a passion working with youth, adults in the nonprofit sector, and has worked with Opportunity Youth for over 10 years. So it's my pleasure to present Kealoha Dalbert, and thank you, Kealoha, for being here.
Hi, Ray. Thank you for having me. So as Ray mentioned, my name is Kealoha Dalbert. I am the Assistant Director of Youth Services for Goodwill Hawaii's Ola Ikahana Youth Program. And so currently we are providing services on Hawaii County, as well as Oahu. And come April 1st, we will be moving our program to Maui County. So that's just one of the newest recent developments for the youth program. And so as Ray said, I've been with youth services with Goodwill for over 10 years, I would say. And so some of the services that the youth program provides is employment and education services. So the populations that we serve include our in-school youth population that ranges eligibility, or the criteria is you have to be between the ages of 14 through 21, low income with barriers. And then we also provide services to our out-of-school population. And for that criteria, you have to be between the ages of 16 through 24. Be a dropout student who does not have a credential, as well as have other barriers. So we are currently located on Hawaii County in Hilo, and we also have another office located in the Kona area, Kona district. So basically, the program has been operating under what's called the Workforce Innovation and Opportunities Act, otherwise known as WIOA. And we've been very fortunate to be able to continue to provide the supports and services to our youth. Majority of the youth that come into our program, they come in looking for some type of assistance for education, but more so now for employment and occupational skills training. The program has been operating, since I believe from 2005. And so we originally started off with the WIA contracts, which then transitioned to WIOA in 2014. But with the new contracts that we have, we are able to provide employment services, which is part of where a lot of our youth struggle. So we provide the job readiness training, we provide them with labor market information, we do our career pathways activities, we have our leadership development opportunities, we also have our adult mentoring services. And so all of these combined allows us to provide the best employment services that we can. One of the things that we've had a lot of great feedback is that we are able to work with our businesses, our community, small business owners, in getting the youth these entry-level work experiences. And so we do a placement, we work with our community partners, and we get the youth the entry-level work experience that is needed. In addition to that, college season is coming around the corner. Myself and my staff, we work with the youth as well as the parents in helping them to register or even apply for admissions to post-secondary ed. So we are here to assist any of our families who need the help with enrollment, and as well as for financial aid assistance. So we are able to help with all of that type of stuff. So, there's a wide range of services that the OLA program provides. Another great thing about the program that we've had another positive feedback on is in regards to our follow-up process. So once our clientele are exiting the program, they're placed on what's called a 12-month follow-up period. During that follow-up period, my staff and I work with the youth to ensure that, number one, if they chose to enter into post-secondary ed, how can we continue to support them? Yeah, if they need assistance with purchasing books, because we know that it can be an expense that a lot of people can maybe not afford, the program is able to provide that support service, or we can find resources that would be helpful and useful for them to be able to afford these books and tools and whatnot. But we continue to help them with applying for federal financial aid assistance, as well as provide them with resources that they may need in the future. For those who decide that post-secondary ed is not the avenue that they want to go down, we ensure that they have found employment. So whether it's part-time or full-time employment, we want to ensure that we're able to continue to provide that support to them. Yeah. Whether it's just being that ear for them and just listening to maybe some of their frustrations at work, we're able to continue to counsel them in making the best choices that for them as the individual. That's kind of a rundown for the employment side. And so for education service, we provide at our locations with Hilo and Kona, the GED and HiSET prep classes. So we partner with the Waipahu Community School for Adults in Hilo and Kona, and we're able to provide that support to the youth at our programs. And so we provide that tutoring and that alternative secondary school offering. And so they're able to help, or we are able to help them to meet the proficiency levels they need in order to qualify for a GED or HiSET credential. And once they have qualified for that or meets the eligibility for adult ed, they're able to go get tested. And then from there, they're able to earn their credentials. And that just about wraps up the services for OLA.
Wow, Kayla, thank you so much. There's like so much that you do for the youth of our community. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks again for having me.
Absolutely. I do have a couple of follow-up questions if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
So one of the questions that I heard is that there's two different distinct populations. You said it was an out-of-school youth and an in-school youth.
Correct.
So how do young people access your program? Is it walk-in? Is it referral-based, or how does one access the program?
Yeah, so anyone can call our office. Our office number for both Hilo and Kona sites is 808-443-5865. And they're able to call the office and inquire about program services. So we do, with the mandates lifting, we will be able to take walk-ins. If people want to just stop by the office and talk stories with us, we'll be open to that as well. But as far as referrals, it can be a self-referral. The only thing is we ask that if youth are under the age of 18, that their parents or guardians contact our offices, only because we're not able to schedule appointments with minors.
Okay, perfect. And also for everyone out there who is watching, I believe that Goodwill provided some rack cards, which will be posted in their exhibitor booth. So please visit our exhibitor booth and check out Goodwill's exhibitor booth and some of the information they have up there. So thank you.
Thanks, sir.
All right, our next speaker is Jai Victorine Diamond. And Jai is originally from Hana, Maui, and moved to the Big Island in 2015 for higher education. But she fell in love with the island and decided to stay. Currently, she is working for Goodwill Industries of Hawaii as an employment counselor, assisting the Big Island community with finding and maintaining employment in order to become self-sufficient. So Jai, thank you again for joining us.
Thanks, Ray, for having me. As Ray was saying, I'm an employment counselor with Goodwill Industries of Hawaii, and I work directly under the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, or WIOA. For our programs under WIOA, we have 4. That's the adult program, the dislocated worker program, as well as the disaster recovery grant program and the employment recovery grant program. For myself personally, I work really closely with the dislocated workers as well as the disaster recovery and employment recovery grant programs. So in a whole though, the 2 programs, they do fall under dislocated worker. And so what that means is it's any individual who has been either furloughed, laid off, or terminated at no fault of their own. The disaster recovery grant is specifically tailored for individuals who have been either furloughed, laid off, or terminated due to COVID-19, which is the current disaster that we're in. And then whereas the employment recovery grant, individuals would not necessarily have to have been affected by a disaster so long as they meet the requirements of dislocation. And then for myself, when I do look at those things for like eligibility wise, I look for typically proof of, unemployment benefits or a letter from their employer that explains why they were let go from their place of original employment. But the really great thing about our programs too, similar to the youth program, we are not a referral-based program. Referrals are always welcome as well, but we do not necessarily need them to go ahead and service our potential clients or the population in Hawaii County. So we typically have a lot of walk-ins, or people can just give the office a call. And if they have inquiries or questions, any of the employment counselors there can assist them with that. And even say sometimes if we're walking in and out of the office and we happen to bump into someone from the community, then we can go ahead and assist them with accessing our services. So with the WIOA program that I work under, we offer clients a lot of benefits with the program. So that can include things like case management services from any one of the employment counselors that they may be assigned to. Those things can include like check-ins about employment updates, if they've obtained employment or if they're still searching or job seeking currently. And we can also assist with resume building, as well as assisting financially in terms of aspects that pertain to employment. And there's so much more other things like occupational training as well. And then with the disaster recovery grant specifically, we have preset work sites that we can go ahead and place our clients at once they are completely enrolled into the program under that grant. And then the disaster recovery grant, we've created what's called on-the-job training partnerships, or OJT, with local businesses all around the island that allow for our clients to work in fields that they may have little to no experience in, but by working with these OJT sites, they're able to acquire and learn new skills that they learn while working on the job. And the hopes of this program is so that employers may maintain those employees long-term, even when they are no longer with the WIOA program, so that they can maintain that employment and self-sufficiency. And yeah, that pretty much wraps up the things that I work with and the clientele that I work with.
Great, thank you, Jai. There's a lot of programming going over there for Goodwill at the American Job Center. So you mentioned occupational training. So can you kind of talk a little bit more about occupational training and some of the things that, or how do you assist with that?
So we always, when we meet a client, we assess whether or not they are interested in any forms of the training that we have. And then once they determine they would like to do that, I will go ahead and offer them the ones we have. So we have things like CNA training, CDL training, security guard card, medical billing and coding, and a few others. And then once those things are completed and they're enrolled into the program and we assess that need for training, then we can go ahead and start working with the client with reaching out to the eligible training providers and completing the paperwork necessary to go ahead and get them enrolled and their classes paid for.
Oh, wow. So the program pays for the training that they're interested in?
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. And John, you also mentioned some very important services. I know resume building was something that you mentioned. Was there other supplemental trainings that you provide in addition to that?
We also have the same as the youth program, our job readiness training. We even will, and that can include things like dressing for success and being interview ready and prepared to actually meet with employers and speaking with them.
Oh, that is so wonderful, because it's one of the things that happen in disasters when we have folks who lose their jobs and who need to get back in the workforce and get retrained in some of these things. And we could have people who haven't been in an interview for a long time. So knowing that these services are available is really crucial to the resiliency of what we're trying to do here. So thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, and our final speaker tonight is Miss Suniva Pota. And Suniva was born and raised in Hilo, Hawaii, and she oversees the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act Adult and Dislocated Worker Program. And that is located in the American Job Center. She is dedicated to serving Hawaii Island's community through education and empowerment of employment and financial opportunities. So Suniva, thank you again for being here.
Wonderful. Thanks for having me, Ray. Good to see you again and everyone here. So we had actually prepared just a small little PowerPoint to sort of guide our presentation today. So if I can go ahead and share my screen and we can go ahead and take a look at that. So let me preview this. And for those of you that are watching, let me see, are you folks able to see that?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. So aloha and welcome everyone. We are so glad that you're here. Welcome to Goodwill. Particularly will I be talking about our career services. So like Jai mentioned, like Kealoha mentioned, we are one organization that encompasses a wide array of programs and services for both participants and also for employers and community organizations. So several different programs that we have here at Goodwill. The first one is our Office of Community Service and Reintegrating Individuals. We encompass our low-income person program, our legal permanent resident, and we even service those that may be on parole or probation. Then, like Jai mentioned, we also work and hold the contract for our Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act program, where we specifically focus in on our adult population, our dislocated workers, our national disaster grants, and therefore specializing also in servicing our veterans, ex-offenders, and those who may have barriers to employment. So just to take it program at a time, just so that everyone is aware of some of the qualifiers. For those of you that are watching that are businesses, if you have clients or participants that need access to these services, if you are watching this yourself and may, let me see, is the screen changing? It's not changing. Let me stop share. Sorry, we may have some technical difficulties. So was it still on the first screen?
Yes.
Okay, let me try this one more time. It's a good thing Ray can edit. Okay, what do you see now? Nothing, right? Okay, let me try this again.
You girl, we see you.
That's me. Okay, do you see OCS slide right now?
Yes.
Okay, let me stop share. Hold on. Because what I want to do, okay, wait, 1 second. Sorry, guys.
No problem. I will edit all of this part out.
Thank you. I just feel like we created such a good PowerPoint that I want to put it to use. So Jai, this is what I was hoping you would do. Just share the PowerPoint and run through it. Yeah, that was the goal of the PowerPoint. So don't worry, Ray edits all of this stuff out, but I'm gonna just go ahead and share it. Let me see. Okay, so I'm sharing this, display settings. See, the funny thing, right now, okay, Ray, maybe you can walk me through this.
Mm-hmm.
So I just shared the PowerPoint, like from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But what I see is I don't see any of you now on my screen. I'm looking at the PowerPoint right in front of me.
Okay.
And so I don't see you folks anywhere.
Do you have a dual screen?
I have 3 screens.
Oh, you have 3 screens. Okay, maybe that's why.
I think so. But see, if I don't need to see you folks, all I need to do is share the right screen. And so when I start the PowerPoint right now, all I see is the big PowerPoint in the front of me. I cannot see my share screen feature. So I don't know where I am on Zoom to share this screen. So let me try this. Okay, let me do this. So screen 2. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Goodwill, screen 3. Okay, do you see the PowerPoint now?
Yeah. Do we see the PowerPoint? And it's the whole screen.
Okay. The whole screen, right? Okay, so what I'm gonna do, Ray, I'm gonna just start a little bit from the top and then edit everything before this out.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna shut my camera off, okay? So that way we can just focus in on the screen. Okay. I'll just like a voiceover. Okay, sorry everybody. Okay, here we go. So aloha, Ray, thank you so much for having me. So as both Kealoha and Jai mentioned, Goodwill is an all-encompassing nonprofit organization. We have so many different programs. So I'm gonna go ahead and just recap what was just discussed through a PowerPoint. So let me just shut my camera off and we're gonna go ahead and get started. So at our career services location, we feature 2 core programs, our Office of Community Services and our Reintegrating Individuals program that focuses in on serving low-income persons, legal permanent residents, and those that may be on parole or probation. At our American Job Center location, we also feature our Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act program. That program encompasses adults, dislocated workers, those affected by disasters under our national disaster grants, and also specializing our focus for our veterans, our ex-offenders, and those who may have barriers to employment. For our OCS, or Office of Community Services program, our low-income persons program, here are some of the qualifiers. You have to be 18 years or older, possess a valid photo ID. The great thing about our program is if you come to us and you don't have any of these documents, our employment counselors are equipped and designed to help you access them. We work with an array of partners that can also help facilitate the accessibility of all of these documents. Income verification, DHS assistance, and if you're employed, then we'd need proof of income. If you are a legal permanent resident, so a non-US citizen, the same qualifiers are in effect. So 18 years and older, we would need to see an I-94 and then also a green card or a passport. So again, the message that we really want to deliver is that we can help almost everybody that comes through our doors, whether it be directly in-house or through our referral-based systems and partner programs. We just want to really stress the fact that our programs are designed to assist, just like our Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act program. Our two core programs, our adult program and our dislocated worker program. Again, very similar. For our adult program, has to be 18 years of age or older, low, either receiving public assistance, low income, also veteran status, US citizen or non-US citizen, and then any type of barrier to employment. Now, the great thing about this is not a catch-all. So don't get too hung up on these eligibility qualifiers. Just give us a call. As I go through the rest of the presentation, we'll be discussing several more of the benefits and options that we do have. But again, this is just a little snippet of what our program qualifiers can be. And then on the flip side, we do have our dislocated worker program. So this is for anybody that has been laid off, furloughed, or terminated at no fault of their own, if they have received unemployment benefits, whether it be current or exhausted. Program benefits. Everybody wants to know, how can they benefit through our programs? Number one thing that we at Goodwill is known for is our case management. Our team of employment counselors are dedicated to supporting our participants while they're job seeking so that they can obtain and maintain employment. We do that through helping them plan out and explore all of their career options. The beautiful thing is that every single person that walks through our door has what's called an individualized employment plan created for them and with them. Next is our job readiness training. Our employment counselors are equipped to help participants build their interview skills, build and craft a professional winning resume, and then give them the skills to implement to dress for success. Another wonderful aspect is our on-the-job training program. We have seen, especially due to COVID, many different people from different departments or different industries have to switch over industries because their jobs got lost. Great thing with on-the-job training is we're able to help our participants learn the skills that they need to on an actual job. Participants gain access to a wide array of employers and sites that they may find interesting. The best thing about it is that they can get paid while they're training, with the goal of permanent employment at the end of the training period. So these are just some of the program benefits for the participants. A little bit more of the benefits. Tuition assistance and support for eligible training courses. Here are a few, but these are not all of the courses. CNA classes, not just the courses, but also for those that are interested in obtaining that licensure from Prometric, that state licensure. We also assist with that. Commercial driver's license. This has been a huge need on our island. Security guard card, medical billing and coding, and many more courses for those to take advantage of. In addition to tuition support for vocational training, we are also geared to helping assist with support service items, such as purchasing uniforms, purchasing tools, purchasing items that are related to and for the purpose of either training or employment. In certain cases and areas, we've also assisted with transportation, such as obtaining bus passes. And so really, there are a wide array of support service items that our team can assist with. And so give us a call if there's anything that interests you. If you are looking for an enhanced way of life or an increased way of earning a decent paycheck or a career, give us a call so that we can explore some options. Now, if you are watching this presentation and you are an employer or a business, a nonprofit, some of our program benefits for you employers and businesses are on-the-job training program. What you can have access to as an employer, as a business, if you're interested in potentially having our candidates in the program be employed at your site. What you would do, of course, is there would be a screening process, which we can work on and discuss a little bit later in detail. But what you would have access to as an employer or business is subsidized training, up to 50% reimbursement. You would also have access to high quality candidates who need employment. Now, I want to really stress that these candidates that we have in our toolbox here are candidates that are really wanting to work. And so our case managers do a really good job at pushing and promoting them into the career that they would like to go to. And for you as an employer, becoming an approved on-the-job training employer would give you access again, not just to the candidate, but also to the services that we provide them with, which is ongoing training, which is mediation services, which is all of the support items that we can assist that participant with to make sure that they are a viable and productive part of your workforce. And so if you are interested in this, we can definitely discuss more. We are so proud to share that we have, as of now, 5 approved on-the-job training employers right here on the Big Island. Out of those 5, 2 of them have our participants placed and employed. One of them has successfully passed his 3-month training period with Shaka Beverages, and they are so excited to continue his position permanent and full-time. And so really the trajectory of what you can do through our program, even as an employer and business, is astounding. And so that's a huge, huge benefit to being part of our organization. And of course, if you need any additional support, guidance, here is our Contact Us page. If you want to contact our main Goodwill Career Services Center that houses our low-income and legal permanent resident programs, you would give us a call there at 808-934-8118. Or if you would like to discuss and possibly enroll in on-the-job training in our adult dislocated worker programs or our national disaster grant programs, you would give us a call at the American Job Center, 808-935-6527. Either way, we look forward to working with all of you, and we really do hope that you benefit and take full advantage of the programs that we have here at Goodwill. Mahalo.
Wow, Suneva, that is a fantastic presentation with all of the services that Goodwill provides. So I did have a question actually for all of you, because it seems that between Kealoha's program and what Jai does and Suneva, that it all encompasses everyone. So it seems that everyone can benefit from this, from all of your services, from youth to young adults, to older adults, to dislocated workers. Is there anything that you guys don't do?
Sleep. We don't sleep.
This is great. And Suneva, for employers who are interested, do they contact the American Job Center as well? Or how do they get in touch with you or your staff?
They can, if you are interested in on-the-job training, you can contact either location and you can ask for Suneva on-the-job training, and then whoever it is takes that call will route you directly to me. I'll also make sure I share my direct line with everyone too. I'll get that over to you, Ray, so that you can possibly share that in our booth. But really, it's such a seamless program. And the one thing I will say about Goodwill is we are so huge that many people get so confused sometimes about where do they go. And so whether it be with Youth Kealoha, with Jai specifically with the disaster grants, or with me for the entire WIOA program, just call a Goodwill and ask, and you will get routed to the right person in the right program.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I do want to thank the three of you for joining us this afternoon for a great discussion on some of the services that you guys provide. It is so important now that things are starting to open up and opportunities are coming up and industries are bouncing back, that the people who are watching know that you guys are out there. So again, thank you so much. So for everybody watching, thank you too for joining Goodwill for their presentation. And we will see you guys at the next session. So thank you again. Mahalo.
Mahalo.
Thank you.
Mahalo.